God bless football. Mikey A.
God bless football, Taylor.
God bless football, Stu Gotts.
Why are you raising your arm, Taylor? What's happening there?
Because I got to bring the energy.
Okay. Bring the energy you have just by raising your arm in an audio medium.
Nailed it.
Trey Wingo going to join us in just a minute here. I love talking ball with Trey. I do. I just like talking football with Trey. Trey made news last time he was on with us talking about all the stuff he would do at ESPN and what a bunch of nonsense it was leading up to the games. He doesn't like previewing games, but he likes breaking down the games after they are played. We had a full weekend of football. Taylor, please put this on the poll. Did the Dolphins win despite their head coach? Who enjoyed Sam Darnold's 4 interceptions more, Sean McVay or Kevin O'Connell? That's a great question. You know O'Connell loved him, man. Also put this on the poll. Did the Steelers win the battle and lose the war? They did. Was Dolphins Commanders the first time you were ever upset that you were getting free football?
Panthers and Falcons went into overtime, too. Just saying.
So Panthers Falcons went into overtime as the Chiefs Broncos game was starting, and I'm watching Panthers Falcons, and I go, I don't really need to see how this one ends, and I flipped it to Chiefs Broncos.
Just flip it over, yeah. I'd rather see the opening drive of Chiefs Broncos than the overtime win for one of those two teams. I'm with you.
Put this on the poll. Did you think Josh Allen was done after he threw that interception out of his own end zone? And then put this on the poll. Next question, Taylor. The next question needs to be on the timeline. 6 touchdowns later, did you regret thinking that? That fucking guy is an animal, man. Seriously. Jesus Christ, he is good. Buffalo's good. I'm sorry I doubted you, Josh Allen. Just for a second. I did, but that interception out of his own end zone was terrible.
Not sold on Buffalo.
Not sold a little bit on Buffalo. I am all the way sold on Josh Allen. He is as good as we're going to see in this era. But Buffalo is not good.
But if you have Josh Allen, don't you have a chance? I understand what you guys are saying. You listen, max belief in Josh Allen. I understand that. You don't believe so much in the team that's surrounding Josh Allen, but they have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty big thing to have. I mean, they have the most important thing. I mean,
if Josh Allen sprains his ankle and is out for a series, it's a 3 and out.
Well, it's Mitch Trubisky.
That's what I said, 3 and out.
Or if you tell me that
Trubisky and out.
Should that be the new name for 3 and out? Just Mitchell Trubisky?
Come on, what are you doing? He's a Pro Bowler.
Trubisky and out.
He's a Tar Heel. That's about it.
If you're telling me that the Bills' formula to win a Super Bowl is Josh Allen scoring 45 points for 3 straight games, I'm going to bet against that more times than not.
Right. That's totally fair, but they do have that position, and that's a pretty important position to have. What'd you guys make? So the reports down here are that the Dolphins, because Stephen Ross, I mean, you'd be crazy to try to get yourself out of the Tua contract. You can't get yourself out of the Tua contract. And because Mike McDaniel was the head coach when Tua had the best season Tua's ever had as a starting quarterback, the reports down here are he can't get out, Stephen Ross cannot get out of the $50+ million Tua contract. Therefore, he wants to bring Mike McDaniel and Tua back next season because the only guy who's gotten anything out of Tua is Mike McDaniel. That is crazy. I mean, but that's what the Dolphin fans are headed towards next year. The same thing.
It's amazing to me that they're going to have to try and sell a GM on, hey, come on in. Yeah. Here's your coach. I know he hasn't been good. And here's your quarterback. We know he's not good, but he's also paid. So don't worry. You're just handcuffed.
Right. Who's going to take that job?
Do a good job.
Right. Yes. Hey, I get to choose my head coach, right? Nah.
No.
How about my court? Nah.
No. But guess what?
Both.
Whatever D tackle you want, You go get him. We're not going to say a word. We're not going to fight you a little bit. You pick the D tackle you want.
So I was disappointed in that news just because I kind of want to see Mike McDaniel with a really good quarterback and the chance for him to have a good quarterback. Like in Stugatz and Company, we talked about Todd Bowles. Should Todd Bowles be on his way out of Tampa? Imagine Mike McDaniel with Baker Mayfield. Or in the Giants, imagine Mike McDaniel with somebody like Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors. Like, there's a lot of possibilities where I think you could put Mike McDaniel, and all of a sudden, that team goes from like a fringe team to a contender, but you're stuck with Tua and not looking good.
This never happens in the NFL, and it blows my mind. Why don't someone like Rex Ryan and Mike McDaniel form a super, like, hey, I got the defense, you got the offense, and let's just do this thing, and let's just win games.
Right. Well, what are you trying to build here? Like a super staff? I mean, what do you?
It sounds like you want two head coaches.
Right.
It's no. Well, first off,
right.
Rex Ryan and Mike McDaniel. When one wants to go one way and the other, like, come on, who's winning that argument? Mike McDaniel is not telling Rex, sit down, we're doing it my way. That's not happening.
No.
But it's more of just, I know what I am. I know I'm a defensive-minded guy. I know I'm the guy that's going to have this plan for the defense, but I know nothing about offense. You obviously know nothing about offense. Why don't you just do that? I'll do this, and we'll go win some games.
Are we certain Mike McDaniel knows offense? I mean, he put up 13 points against a really lousy defense.
He did it with Tua.
So, Mikey,
Tua's his guy. Well, no. That's where you guys get. Listen, this is why this conversation is frustrating. Mike McDaniel said himself, Tua, the perfect quarterback for my offense. That's what he said. He's stuck with that. He has to live with that. He ain't getting another quarterback, not as a head coach. It's Tua or bust. That's it for McDaniel. He's never going to get another head coaching opportunity again unless he makes it work with. Do you guys think if the Dolphins come back next year with McDaniel and Tua and they have another lousy season and McDaniels gets fired, do you think Mike McDaniel will ever be a head coach in the NFL again?
No, I don't.
No.
I can't see it.
He should be.
But he could be a half a head coach.
Wait, why? With Rex being the other half, of course, right?
Oh, Rex. It doesn't have to be Rex, but
Just any old Rex.
any old Rexy.
So, Mikey, I'm confused. Do you want two head coaches or do you want no head coach and two coordinators?
Yeah.
I want one coach to have 51% of the say, but I want him to understand I'm not going to touch the offensive side of the ball. I'm only going to do the defense.
But who has the 51% in this equation? Is it McDaniel?
Listen, if it was McDaniel and Rex, it's going to be Rex.
Right. Well, you let McDaniel think that he has the 51%, but Rex knows he's got the 51%.
Yeah, it's an example. I'm just saying some of these coordinators, you know what I mean? Some of these really good one side of the ball coordinators.
Yeah. Taylor, I'm not certain what kind of fucking staff he's trying to put together here. I have no idea. Let's bring in Trey Wingo and ask him. He is the host of the podcast Straight Facts, homie. I'm insanely jealous of that name. It is Trey Wingo is with us. It's such a great name for a podcast, Trey. It really is.
Stugatz, thank you. Look, man, we were trying to figure out what to do with it and what to call it. And, you know, that was one of my favorite lines of all time when Randy Moss was asked how he's going to pay that $50,000 fine. They were filming him and said, "You're going to write a check?" He goes, "Hell no, rich people don't write checks, straight cash, homie." So that's that's where it came from. We just replaced cash with facts, and that's where we got what we got.
So, Trey, this is amazing to me that both Israel Gutierrez and the Bear, Chris Felica, have said on today's show already that they think the Chiefs, who currently aren't in the playoffs, are going to represent the AFC in this year's Super Bowl. Do you agree with those guys?
Not at this point. I mean, look, it's just going to be a lot. This is going to sound terrible to people in Miami because I'm going to quote Bill Parcells, and he's the one. It's the one place where nobody likes Bill Parcells, and I understand that from what happened with the Dolphins. He said this truest thing ever. You are what your record says you are. And I believe the Chiefs are a better team this year than last year. I believe they have more talent. I believe they have more depth. But they're not showing us. Here's who they are. They're 0-5 in one-score games. They have not won a close game yet this year. Their only road win was week 3 against the Giants when they won 22-9. They beat the crap out of the Raiders. They beat up on the Lions at Arrowhead. They beat up on the Commanders at Arrowhead. They destroyed the Ravens at Arrowhead. You're not going to play any postseason games at Arrowhead this year. I'm telling you right now, the loss to the Broncos, basically, they would have to collapse so hard for the Chiefs to win the division. They're 3.5 games out, and we're heading into week 12. I mean, that's a really difficult task. So I think the talent is there to do it. They just haven't shown me they can do it yet this year. Straight facts, homie.
Yeah, straight facts, homie. Is the criticism today of Sam Darnold, is it fair?
Yeah, he threw 4 interceptions, but
yes.
we
I don't know how the
this.
fuck the Rams. I don't know how the Seahawks were in that game at the end. It's crazy. But
Well,
anyway,
their defense is real. I mean, Stafford threw for 130 yards. I mean, like he'd come in on an all-time heater 3 straight games with 4 touchdowns or more.
Yeah.
And they clamped down. I mean, that game, just so people understand, both those teams were top 5 in scoring offenses and top 5 in scoring defenses. I mean, they put up points and they shut down opponents. That Seattle defense was real. Now, Sam Darnold did the Sam Darnold thing, right? He did it in last year against Detroit down the stretch and then the playoff game against the Rams. But here's where I'm going to give Darnold some credit. Like, he played terrible, but then he found a way to give his team a chance to win. And I think you can't gloss over that because to me, the hardest thing to do is course correct. Hey, when you're playing great, it's easy. Everything's flowing. It's like when you're on the golf course. You made 4 pars in a row. Everything's working, right? But then you throw in 2 double bogeys, and it's like, what the hell, man? How do I get back there? And to me, the greatest athletic achievement is to stop sucking when you're sucking.
Right.
You know, like Tom Brady did it in Super Bowl 51. Russell Wilson did it in the NFC Championship game against the Packers that went to overtime.
Josh Allen did it yesterday. I mean,
exactly.
Yes.
How many times have you seen Tiger Woods in his career? Oh, shit, he's 4 over, and then he shoots a 66.
Right.
He when it was nut cutting time, for lack of a better phrase, he got him into the end zone. They got the ball back, and he gave him a chance to win. Like Lamar Jackson last year in the playoffs was terrible in the first half against Buffalo. Came back and played great in the second half, and if Mark Andrews makes that catch, they go to overtime. Great. So as bad as he played, and it was bad, the Rams defense is really good, and I'll give him credit for finding a way to not suck when you've sucked the entire game. And they had a chance.
We've had people on this podcast for the last few weeks telling us Seattle is a Super Bowl contender. Seattle's a Super Bowl contender. And I haven't believed it. I'm like, no, they're not. And I think in yesterday's loss, I took more of a, hey, maybe they have a chance. Yeah. Because I'm not sure Sam Darnold could have played any worse. And they still were 61-yard field goal away from possibly winning that game. This to me said more about them in the loss than it did possibly the Rams in the win.
I think that's fair. I mean, look, that was their first loss outside Seattle since 2024. They'd won 10 straight road games. They're in this thing. And, I loved what Ernest Jones said after the game about Sam. He's like, hey, man, we all made mistakes out there. We all made plays. But if you're going to say something to my quarterback, quite frankly, fuck you. And that's basically his way of saying, yeah, he didn't play great, but he's still our guy.
Right.
Like, we're still in this together. And I thought that was awesome. I think Mike McDaniel has done an amazing job.
Agreed.
It's funny. One of the things I love about Seattle, and I got to look at the numbers from yesterday, going into that game, they led the league in rushing attempts, basically in terms of percentage. They run it almost 51% of the time, but going into that game, I think they were 28th or 29th in the league. And that to me is brilliant coaching because you don't have to always have a hugely effective running game, but you just have to keep doing it because then you have to defend it. And if you go away from it, and the Chiefs are guilty of this a lot, and I think they did that a bunch outside of one drive where they let Kareem Hunt eat a little bit. If you don't run the ball, you don't have to defend it, and then you can just go after the quarterback. And I think one thing Mike McDaniel has done a great job with in Seattle is, okay, we're not as effective as I'd like to be. I think they're averaging 3.8 yards per carry, which is, bottom 5 in the NFL. But they're committed to doing it, which means you have to try and stop it, which means you can't just go down on Jackson Smith and Jigba and double him all the time and go after the quarterback. I really like that about their team makeup.
To that point, 35 rushes yesterday, 135 yards. Like they don't go away from it, right?
No, they stay with it. And so many teams abandon the run as quickly as possible.
Yep. Taylor has a stat from that game yesterday. Go ahead, Taylor.
Matthew Stafford has a winning record for the first time in his career.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you play for Detroit in the pre-Dan Campbell era, okay? But to your point, like, Matthew played pretty good, and that little throw to Devontae Adams which would eventually be the winning points. That was a design running play.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that, it was a design run. Nobody went back in pass protection. Everybody thought they were going to wash down to either Kyron Williams. I think that was the back in the backfield to the right side. He looked over and saw Devontae one-on-one and just did a little head fake. He moved in, and it was the easiest touchdown you'll ever have in your life. So I do love that about the way they play and the way they work together. But as you know, I'm not a big believer in wins and losses being a quarterback stat. The team won that game.
We know you're not. I mean, it's the ultimate stat. I don't wins and losses. It was a great game. It really was. Sean McVay, I don't know. Tell me how you feel about this. I think McVay might be the best head coach of the NFL.
He's really, really good. He's look, obviously Andy's track record right now with 3 Super Bowl wins, and that's going to be a huge thing, and being in 5 of them. But what I love about the Rams is that I'm not sure there's a better relationship between the head coach and general manager than Sean McVay and Les Snead. They are in lockstep, man.
Yes.
So for all those years, it was F them picks. We'll just go get Jared Goff. We'll go trade for somebody else. And now they've gotten those picks, and look at the players they've picked up, like Verse on that defensive line, the other defensive lineman they've got. They've done a great job drafting in the secondary. I think the secret sauce for the Rams, besides Stafford in his 17th year playing on an MVP level, is the fact that I'm not sure there's a better working relationship in terms of how they approach the game between a coach and a general manager than what we're seeing in LA between Sean McVay and Les Snead.
Who do you think, which coach enjoyed the 4 interceptions by Sam Darnold more? Was it Sean McVay or Kevin O'Connell?
It might have been Kevin O'Connell. He's like, finally get off my ass about this. But let's be honest, it was never KOC's decision. Like, I knew in October, because I've been taught last October, not October 2025, that they were never going to re-sign Sam because they had made the pick. And I was talking to someone playing golf with one of the owners, part of the ownership group. And they're like, yeah, I mean, no matter what Sam does, he's not staying. So it was more probably the ownership group was breathing a sigh of relief than maybe Kevin O'Connell about the 4 interceptions yesterday.
Do the Vikings have a problem with J.J. McCarthy? Is J.J. McCarthy good?
We don't know yet.
I know.
We don't know. But my favorite thing about our old employers, too,
like
guys,
that. We don't know.
In the Monday night game between the Bears and the Vikings to start the season, and J.J. McCarthy was ass, and then in the second half was better. The next morning on Get Up, who would you rather have, J.J. McCarthy or Caleb Williams? Like, what are we doing? It's one game. It's one game, and he was terrible for half the game. What in the hell are we actually doing? God almighty.
What was your answer? I
mean, bad question was the answer. Bad topic. Find something that makes sense.
That's how you do it, Trey. I got to be honest with you. I mean, that's
no
what
interest.
Sports media is all about.
Which is why we do this instead.
Yeah, I love it.
After every week this season, I've redrafted that 2024 NFL draft.
Where are you right now?
So Drake May is holding on to that number 1 spot, but man, Caleb Williams is looking like he could take it back any moment now.
I agree with that. Although, let me ask you guys this. I was shocked when they had a chance to win the game that on 2nd and 7 and 3rd and 7, they basically ran dive plays. Ben Johnson is supposed to be this guru, this offensive genius. Look at all the trick plays he had in Detroit, the stumble play. You do 2 dive plays to set up basically a 50-yard field goal? See, to me, that's the difference between doing a hot shot coordinator and being a head coach, right? Suddenly that sphincter factor gets a little tighter when you're the man in charge of everything.
Right.
I could not believe the 2 plays to set up the game-winning field goal. Thank God he made it. Were 2 dive plays. I was like, come on, man. You're Ben Johnson. Pull something out of there. Let's get another 10 yards to make this not, oh my God, are we going to get there?
Are you saying if Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator, it's a triple reverse right there and not a dive play?
Where Caleb pretends to fall down and flips it behind his back to
somehow there's 9
Swift
footballs
around
on the field, right?
Exactly. It's something completely different. But when it's all on your shoulders, let's just get it in here.
He's doing a pretty good job, though. Let's give him
doing great. He's doing great. He absolutely is. I could not believe how conservative those 2 calls were, though.
2 teams faced each other yesterday. I was confused about these these two teams headed into the game, and I left the game more confused than I was before the game. The Chargers and Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, how about this? With the loss, the Chiefs are now 2 games behind Jacksonville.
Crazy.
And 2.5 because they won the head-to-head.
Right.
Essentially for the for that tiebreaker spot.
Right.
Yeah, Jacksonville every week is a mystery. Like they're kind of like Green Bay. Like Green Bay, it's Jameis Winston. Okay, like you guys are supposed to be good. Like for a good team, the Packers have the two most inexplicable losses on their schedule. They lost to the Browns and the Panthers. Like, and I get it. The Panthers are now in, they're in first place or right up there in the NFC South. But like they have those 2 inexplicable losses, and I don't know what to make of. Of Jacksonville. I will give the Chargers a little bit of a pass because have you seen the offensive line rankings when they put them out there on the primetime games? No. 36 out of 36 for the left tackle, 37 out of 39 for the right guard. I mean, right. They have Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater both out for the year with debilitating injuries. So they're making it up as they go along. But that was a stinker across the board.
Are those losses you just pointed out worse than the Bills' 2 losses, Atlanta and the Dolphins? I just the NFL is crazy, Trey.
Yeah. Well, the Dolphins one made no sense. But see, the Bills do that every year. They beat the Chiefs, which is their regular season Super Bowl, and then they suffer these letdowns. Right. And I thought for a while that Tampa Bay might go in there and steal that game until Josh said, "F it, I'm putting up a 6-pack." Yes. And he's the first quarterback to have 6 touchdowns in a game since Josh Allen last year. Yes. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 3 touchdowns through the year. He's a freak, man.
He really is. Speaking of confusing teams, Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, good for Bryce Young. Yes. I know. Yes. Good for Bryce Young. What, 400 yards in that game?
I think so, yeah. They have a better record than Kansas City and Buffalo. I mean,
think about that. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They've been gamers, They've found a way to make it work, and that division is completely winnable at this point.
Yes,
I love Tampa Bay. Don't get me wrong, but they've faltered a lot after that great start, and they've had some injuries, which has obviously been limiting to them. But why not Carolina? What the hell, man? I mean, that division is not. There's not a tremendous team in that division.
If you're the Bengals, now you're at 3-7. The Steelers are in first place. The Ravens might not lose the rest of the season. What do you do with Joe Burrow if you're Cincinnati?
I think until they're mathematically out of it, they're going to bring him back. But the bigger issue in Cincinnati is, hey, Jamar Chase, have you seen the video? Like, I don't care what you said. It's pretty obvious you spat on him. I've seen it. Like, he's like, oh, I didn't do that. And then we saw the video. But you did. And he's probably going to get suspended for that.
Right. I judge by the reaction in those cases, right? Because when someone spits, it's like the worst thing you could do to someone. And the reaction, there is no overreacting to that. And so the reaction was proper for someone who was spat on, right?
And I love Jalen's response. He said, he spit at me after that. Fuck football. I don't care. It's personal at that point. Like, he was completely honest with it, which I love.
You want to see violence?
Yes, exactly.
Fuck football. It's so great. What'd you make of the Giants getting? We haven't had John since it happened, but the Giants getting rid of Brian Daboll. What'd you make of that?
Look, at the end of the day, it's a zero-sum game, right? He was 9-7-1 his first year and 11-33 since. And I understand not all of that is his fault, and I understand that they had quarterback issues up until this year. But if you don't win, you don't stay. It's just that simple. They haven't figured it out. Now, I don't think it was his fault they let Saquon Barkley go. I think that was more the general manager. And you can make the case, okay, you finally give him a first-round pick with a quarterback. Let's ride that out for a little bit. But 11-33 is 11-33. It was great that first year, and ever since then it's been a struggle. And he's a combative guy. I don't think that when you know how it is, Stugatz. When you're winning, everything's good. But when you're losing, everything annoys you.
Right.
And, you could see the way he acts around certain people and be like, God, that guy's kind of a dick. When really, if you're winning, you're like, oh, I fucking love the passion. You know what I mean?
Mike McDaniel was the coolest fucking coach in the world. He hasn't changed a bit. Now he's a dork.
Yeah. Well, now and I will say this, like, Rex Ryan calling him a nerd and Stephen A. Smith saying he looks like the Geek Squad guy. Can we just get away from that? Can we just say it's not working as a head coach? Why do you feel the need to denigrate him like he's a 13-year-old in a science class? I do not understand that part of it.
Trey, what did you think of 4-6 Bill Belichick saying, "I'm not interested in any NFL jobs"?
I think that's Bill
After
Belichick
pursuing all of them.
Yes, I think that's Bill Belichick realizing nobody has an interest in him anymore, if we're being honest about it. I mean, I know when people haven't played for a year and they say they're retiring. No, bro, you were retired. You're not retiring. Yes. You were retired as a player, and now you're just acknowledging it. And I think that's what we're seeing with Bill. I do believe the Giants would be the only job he would really love, or go somewhere where he has a quarterback. But with the way it ended in New England and the control issues and the way things are going in North Carolina, it would be hard-pressed for someone to say, hey, let's bring him back into this NFL in this day and age.
Trey, I like you in your post-ESPN career being some sort of ESPN ombudsman. I do. You made news last time you said this shit. You're going to make news again. I love it.
I mean, look, I knew that I was going in a different direction from ESPN 20 years ago. Okay, I'll tell you a great story. Remember when Terrell Owens did the whole with the Eagles? He walked out and did the whole workout in the driveway and all that kind of stuff. And he was
setups in the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay. So that happened on one day, and then nothing happened for 3 days, right? And we were like, well, nothing's going on, so let's talk about things that are going on NFL Live. And I think he's still there. The executive called me into his office and said, hey, help me out. SportsCenter led with Terrell Owens today, and you guys did do it on NFL Live. Why not? Well, I said, well, what happened today with Terrell Owens? I said, well, nothing, but it's a topic. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go on and say, hey, Terrell Owens did nothing today. Meanwhile, on to the Giants. I was going to do things that were actually happening. If something happened with Terrell Owens, I'm happy to talk about it. But since nothing happened, how much time out of a 30-minute show devoted to football do you want me to say, hey, here's nothing that happened but Terrell Owens? He's a name. So, the 2000 World Series, Stugotz, between the Yankees and the Mets.
Yeah.
Game 1, I think it was, when Roger Clemens, the bat broke and he threw it at Mike Piazza.
Yeah, he threw it. Yeah, a piece of it. Right.
Yeah, a piece of it. Right. Well, the Yankees had just won, I think, their 14th straight or 12th straight World Series game at that point. Longest record in the history of baseball. They wanted to lead the 6 o'clock Sports Center the next day with Mike Piazza and the bat and Roger Clemens throwing the piece of bat at him. I'm like, why? Why is that the most important thing when they just set a record for the most consecutive World Series games won? To me, that seems like that carries a lot more weight than somebody taking a bat. And then, here's the thing. And by the way, this other funny thing happened.
Right.
They wanted to make the bat the centerpiece of everything for that hour sports. And I was like, all right, I guess it's your call, man.
So you led with the bats.
Yeah, we did.
Really?
Led with a freaking bat.
You're still upset about it. Look,
it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
It does, though. It's fireworks. Fans like that stuff. You know that.
I'd rather talk about it's like when we show the outfits of all the players as they walk into the stadiums now.
Right.
I am much more interested in what they do in their uniforms. I do not care what they wear to the stadium. I could not care less about that. I want to know what happens when they put on their uniform for work.
Right.
It's like, remember when Mark McGwire was hitting all the home runs and they go live to batting practice to watch him hit batting? It's practice. Okay. And then Odell, when Odell made the catch against the Cowboys,
yes,
we'd show, this is Odell warming up. Look at this great catch in warm-ups.
Right.
I am more interested in what happens after he's warmed up.
Yes.
That's what interests me.
Yes. Straight fucking facts, homie.
It's what it is.
Yes.
I mean, let's do when the game clock starts and when the game clock ends. That's what interests me.
I love this Trey Wingo.
So do I.
I mean, it's just, seems logical to me.
Right. Why did you fist bump when you said, I love this Trey Wingo? What were you doing?
Just to get my passion across.
Right.
I appreciate that, brother.
Did you feel it, Trey? You felt it?
I did. The little tiger fist bump right there.
Why is no one taking the Patriots seriously?
Have you seen who they played? I mean,
guess.
this is, Tom Brady said something really interesting earlier this season, or maybe it was last season. I can't remember.
That's
talking about. Yeah, right. Exactly. Let me rephrase that. Tom said something that caught my attention.
Got it.
When he was talking about, these guys, have it so easy with the way things are now. And I'm like, and Alex Smith, by the way, to his credit, Alex Smith was the first one to point this out. I said, bro, Tom, you had the cupcakiest cupcake schedule of all time when you were in the AFC East. There was not one time when Tom and Bill were in the AFC East that they had a team like Bo Nix and Denver with Kansas City, or Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They never had any of that. They had Chad Pennington for 1 or 2 years, and what was the other best quarterback in the AFC?
They did have Peyton and the Colts, right?
Right, but that was one year
division,
before realignment.
Right.
They actually were. They
Mark
actually were
Sanchez.
98, 99,
Yes.
before divisional realignment. They never had anybody to go through.
Right.
So it's
Sanchez.
very similar to what the Jets are, what the Patriots are going through right now. Look, they're playing great. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I'm going to need to see more.
Right. I just feel bad for those teams. It's like, we finally have like a changing of the guard in the AFC. You have the Colts having a season no one expected them to have. The Patriots having a season that no one expected them to have. And everyone wants Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City in the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
It's nuts. And look, if there's a lot of pressure on those two teams that you just mentioned, Buffalo and Baltimore, because if this is the year that Kansas City isn't going to be there, this is your chance, right? This is your chance. You better take advantage of this window, because I think there's a better – I'd say it's probably 50-50 that the Chiefs make the playoffs at this point.
Interesting.
The way they're playing. Way they're playing.
Right. I'll tell you who I think is going to be there, a lock, is the Eagles. Like, they're going to be there again, Trey. They just keep winning football games every single week. They fight. They win.
You're 100% right. And people, like, when you look at the stats, they did this wrong, they did that wrong. They won.
Yes.
That's all that matters. It's like last year with the Chiefs. Well, it was a block kick or a botch snap. They won. They found a way to win the game, which is so funny talking about the Chiefs. They're the exact opposite this year. They cannot find a way to win a game.
I know.
And give the Eagles credit. Like, it is clearly a mess between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. So much so that the Eagles have had to say to A.J. Brown, please don't talk about this on social media anymore.
Right.
Like, he's acknowledged that. So there's a huge issue, but it works because they're winning. And as long as they win, you can put up with everything. Like, Carson Wentz was a guy when he was in Philadelphia that some people had some questions about, but it was working because it was winning. And once they started losing, it was like, that guy annoys the crap out of me.
Right.
It's amazing how quickly things change when you're winning as opposed to when you're losing. So at the end of the day, the Eagles are doing what is necessary. And as long as they do that, they're going to be tough to beat. Although I do think the Rams might be the team when it's all said and done out of the NFC.
I'd like to see that Rams-Eagles NFC Championship game. That's the game I think we all want. Right?
If you think about it, last year, and again, the Eagles earned the right because they had the better record. The snow changed that game completely. Right. I mean, the way the Rams want to attack and the way the Eagles wanted to attack. I mean, they wanted to pound you with Saquon, and they did. And what the Rams did best was nullified by the weather. Now, the Eagles earned the right to have that happen because they had the better record. Right. But if that game didn't have snow, I think the Rams might have beaten them last year in the division round.
Did you feel bad for Shedeur Sanders yesterday? Any part of you?
I feel bad for the people that were so hyping Shedeur Sanders.
Huh.
I mean, he completed his first 2 passes and then went 2 of 14.
Yes.
With sacks. Look, and I want to be fair to him here.
Sure.
He probably didn't get a lot of reps. Mm-hmm. He probably didn't do all those things. But, it's pretty evident if you watch that game and the way he played in the second half as to why the coaching staff may have had some reservations about putting him in there yet. Now, he may have to play this week because we don't know. Once you have a concussion, you're in the protocol, and there's no gray area there. You either pass the protocols or you don't. It's that simple. And hopefully, if that's the case, he'll get a good week of practice with the ones, and maybe we'll see a much better and a much different Shedeur Sanders out there. But for all the people that were clamoring for him to play, I think you saw an indication, and I don't think it's a binding indication because of the situation, why there might have been some hesitancy to put him out there. And I don't think that's a radical statement in any way, shape, or form.
Why they weren't so Shedeur, one might say,
Look at you're good. You're good. You're good.
I don't think we have Trey or Nate today. I'm very upset about this. It's I don't know. I don't think we do we, guys? No, we don't.
All right. Good enough.
Good answers by them too. They really rush to the microphone when I have a question for them. Does that, Trey?
Yeah, they stepped right up to the mic. Said no
Visual
one.
cues.
There you go.
You're an ass. All right, Trey. Straight Facts, homie, is the podcast. Check it. No golfing today. He's not golfing. It's 40 some odd degrees and it's windy out, huh?
30 miles an hour. The weather app said feels like 23. Feels like I'll pass.
Straight Facts, homie. Wherever you get your podcast, check him out right there. Trey Wingo, the ESPN ombudsman, joins us every couple of weeks to rip how we do it in the media. I love it.
Just let's talk about the things that matter. That's all.
Yes, I agree. Yes, let's keep pushing that message.
There you go.
Stugatz here. It's NBA tip-off week, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. Listen, support the people that support this show, and no one has supported us more than our friends at FanDuel. So even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Stugatz here for Omaha Steaks. You know how every year you swear you're going to get ahead on holiday gifting, and then suddenly it's December 18th and you are staring at the candle aisle in full panic mode. I was that person until someone sent me Omaha Steaks one year. Game changer. I remember opening that freezer box like it was Christmas morning. From holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. You can gift family and friends USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy comfort meals, so much good stuff. And right now, during their Sizzle All the Way sale, and I love a good Sizzle All the Way sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code COMPANY at checkout. That is company, all capitalized, COMPANY, for those of you who don't know how to spell company. And I'm telling you from experience, this isn't just good steak. This is great steak. This is steak you literally can't mess up. If I could do it, anyone could do it. The first time I cooked their filet mignons, I salted them, seared them in a cast iron pan, and finished them in the oven. Absolutely amazing, delicious, and so easy. Holiday magic made easy. Orders placed by 6 p.m. Eastern, shipped same day. Plus, 5 generations of family expertise. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code COMPANY at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, code COMPANY.